Hi there, and thanks for watching. My name is Stephen Campbell, and I'm the pastor at the International Baptist Church of Bonn. I'm so glad you've joined us. You're watching the 35th video in our series, What Christians Believe. We're taking a look at the basic beliefs of the Christian faith as part of our aim at IBC Bonn to lay a strong foundation for our members so they can have an active faith and a consistent Christian life. In the previous video, we began a series on the Ten Commandments. I shared that the Ten Commandments is a summary of God's law that is still relevant and authoritative for Christians today. We also looked at the first commandment, in which God requires that we have no other gods beside him. In this video, we'll take a look at the second commandment. As I said last week, the laws of the Old Testament flow from the heart of God and reveal to us his desires and his values. God is the creator of life, and he knows how life works best. I have here on your screen a summary of the Ten Commandments. Read along with me. We will spend the next several videos walking through these commandments one at a time. The Ten Commandments begins this way: I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol. You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. Honor your father and your mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's possessions. Now, don't forget that these commandments are actually divided into two parts. The first part teaches us how to live in relation to God, and the second, what duties we owe to our neighbors. So what does God require of us in the second commandment? Well, Christians believe that God has forbidden the use of any idols in worship, because he cannot and should not be visibly portrayed in any way. So what is wrong with making an idol for worship? Well, at least two things. First, this command reminds us that God is God and we are not. Christians believe that God is the one who gets to decide how he will be worshipped. This ideal leads us to humbly acknowledge that we should only worship God in the way he has commanded us to worship him. The second problem with idols is that God is spirit. Therefore, he cannot be represented by any created thing. The temptation for us as humans is always to want to have something to see and touch, but God cannot be controlled or contained. He can't be boxed in as if you could point to an idol and say, "Look, there he is." God is simply too big for that. There's another danger. As humans, we will often seek out experience to enhance our worship. We want lights and fog machines to manipulate our feelings. We want the physical things of the world to make us feel more connected to the Creator God. But the truth is, Christians believe that God has revealed himself to us most clearly through his Word. We do not need the fleeting and temporary things of this world to represent God when we can go directly to his Word where he reveals himself to us. This is what Peter is talking about in our memory verse for this week. In 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 19, he writes, "We also have the prophetic message," that's the Bible, "as something completely reliable, and you will do well to pay attention to it, as to a light shining in a dark place until the day dawns and the morning star rises in your hearts." He's talking about the coming of Christ. Until Christ returns, our surest foundation for our life, our practice, the most reliable source of who God is and what he communicates to us is known through his Word. That's it for now. I want to thank you for watching, and God bless you. Be sure to like these videos and follow our channel to be notified each week when a new video is posted. If you live in the Bonn, Germany region, I want to invite you to come join us for worship, for the teaching and preaching of God's Word, and to be a part of a community that lives under the authority of God for the glory of God.